low-cost property training company, Samuel Leeds, offers controversial courses on achieving financial freedom.
There are so many questions to ask, Samuel. There are so many questions.
I've made millions of pounds in property, which a lot of people know about, but I've also lost millions of pounds. And if I died tomorrow, the question is, would people know the real struggle and what I had to do to get there? A group of students on the academy asked me if I could take them around my whole portfolio and show them the lessons, and not just the deals that were good, but also the deals where I lost money, the deals that almost wiped me out. This is the stuff that no one in property investing is talking about. I bought this hotel with a £1 deposit. All right, let's go! Land this big for £1 million is pennies. I was only 17. I'd walk them to the ATM. This deal is a money pit. I've got so many more houses to show you guys. This one has been my most high profit earner. I've got some serious to say. What are you hoping to get out of the journey?
Oh, sorry.
On the spot.
I'm hoping to learn from Samuel himself on developments, bridging finance, things like that.
I know Samuel is the property investor. He's a good guy. Takes like homeless people and this and that, and he goes and buys them houses. But I heard that it's all a bit of a scam.
We're doing a tour of all of his property portfolio. A lot of people say his properties aren't real, so hopefully with this tour we can prove it's not a scam, it's the real deal.
Fantastic. You lot take care, yeah?
Expectations. I guess we're just going to see all of the great different properties that Samuel has. Can't wait to absorb, learn, and get energized for property.
Now, we've all heard about his portfolio, but I'm excited to actually see it get on the ground.
To be with him for 3 days is something very special, so I'm very keen to find out where he draws his energy, how he stays positive and motivated. So I wanted to get some life tips from him.
Samuel Leeds.
This is Samuel Leeds. He dropped out of school at 16 and went on to build a property portfolio worth over £20 million.
You're described as a millionaire landlord. I mean, is that accurate?
I'd be embarrassed to be a millionaire. I'm a multi-millionaire.
You had £50, that was all, and a hotel room, and you had to then make money.
Right now I'm standing in Uganda, and this is the Samuel Leeds School. £1 is how much I just paid for this 26-bedroomed hotel. Always ask me, how did you do it? What did you do? Because I went from broke to being worth over £10 million in my 20s.
And he's teaching millions of others how to do the same.
Oh, Samuel's fantastic.
Kelly's a very kind person.
He's doing it from his heart.
The best thing about it is
And I want you to package your deals.
That's from the first deal.
How's it feel?
Amazing.
Is the money in the account?
I own over £10 million worth of property, but where did it start? Well, it all started with this very first house that I bought 17 years ago, and I came back now for an inspection. July 2008 was the day I left school. Oh my goodness. The freedom when I left school was just incredible. However, what I found is as soon as I left school, my dad was just like, right, on Saturday, I need you on the market, I need you to do this, I need you to that. After working for my dad for about 3 weeks, I remember thinking, I don't like doing this. I don't like being told what to do all the time. The pay was absolutely terrible. And I Googled, "My Dad is Keeping Me Poor," and came across the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki. And that was the first book I ever read, cover to cover. first ever house I bought. I was 17 years old and I bought this house 2009. I've not been here for about 7 years because we're currently homing homeless people, vulnerable adults. It looks exactly like it was, man, when I bought it. The whole house seems tiny. I mean, this room, is this even legal? This seems absolutely... So this house was bought for 100,000 cash, and then the same day I bought it, I got a mortgage, got a valuation of 120, and I got a mortgage of 100. So I got all my money back on the day of buying it. When I just completed on this property, the refurb was £2,500, and that's because I did most of the work myself. It needed plastering and stuff. So I was very proudly able to do that work myself. I thought like I was such a big shot. Like, yeah man, I just bought this house and I'm plastering it. But this was actually a success. Like I bought this for 100 grand. It's now worth probably about 280 grand. Makes me about £1 a month and it has done for the last 17 years. My tenants would pay me cash and there's a little cash machine, an ATM about a 3-minute walk away. So when a tenant would come around and they go, yeah, I want to move in, I'd be like, okay, you want to secure it? No problem, great. You'll need to pay an admin fee of £90 to secure it, and I'd walk them to the ATM. I'd walk them, I was only 17. I'd walk them to the ATM. But then the rent, I got £350 for the big room, and then I was charging like 300 to 325 for the other rooms. So in total I was getting about £1,200–1,300. When I rented it out as a HMO, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm making more money from this tiny little house than I am working for my dad on the markets. My profit, I was managing it myself, was about £950, and £950 for me was huge. But I thought I can't keep buying properties and trying to get people to put them in their names. That's when I started doing lease options. And I'll take you now to my very first lease option, which is 2 minutes down the road. You can literally walk it. No, long time. Sorry, there's a few of us. How are you doing? So, I don't think I've seen you for about a decade. It's been about 10 years. It probably has. Hello. Good to see you though. We're right to pop in. Thanks so much. These tenants you're about to meet have been in there about a decade. So this was like my first house that I bought in my own area. I've been renting it out to the same tenants the entire time. It looks fabulous. I'm doing an inspection on all of my properties, and hence the in the documentary on it. It looks fabulous. Oh, we get to go in the kitchen. I think we need to redo the kitchen now. It looks a bit. It looks good, clean, but it looks like it needs, because it must be the same kitchen that's been in there the whole time, isn't it? Like all of our houses now are managed by agencies, and whereas this one, my wife manages it. So the tenants are like on a first name basis with us. Oh, John, hey! How you doing, mate?
Been a long time.
It has, mate. How you doing?
Not too bad, thank you.
Yeah, good. How long's it been?
Not too 12 years now.
No, it hasn't. So were you the first, when I bought this, did you move in straight away when you were the first tenants? Wow, fantastic. We need to get a new kitchen then. What is it?
It was originally a board up there.
I'll get Amanda to send someone to come out and have a look at it, because they don't want it to be making the house cold. And also, we'll get a new kitchen in for you guys as well. I've got a copy of the actual option agreement that I did like 13 years ago in the title deed, so you can see it, you can study. So this property was owned by a guy called Steve. Steve bought the house in 2007 for 95 grand. He wants 95 grand for it, but it ain't worth it. Long story short, I offered him 81 and he said yes. And I offered to give him 81 on an option where I'd agreed to buy it 7 years later, which meant by the time I came to buy it, it was worth 145. I bought it cash, refinanced it. So it's basically a free house. They moved in, they're paying like £500 a month rent. I want to honour them for being there that long. So I've not put the rent up.
Rent's probably the cheapest you can probably get, really, especially for that area. Rent's quite high now.
When I got my first property, for me that was a massive breakthrough moment. I think it gave me a real sense of confidence. I've done it, and I've done it once, then I can do it again. The rules changed, and the market in 2009, 2010 started dropping, and it had to change strategies. Hence why I got into doing purchase option agreements. Oh man. What's the sellotape, or is it?
It should be alright. If we get.
Oh, if you hold it with your hand there we go, there we go.
Alright, we get one other person on the other side. Yeah. Yeah, hop in. You guys just agree, nod your head and agree. Right, 3, 2, 1, action.
Alright. Not annoyingly though, I got some serious to say, you know what I'm saying? but I'll show you how I purchased that property. So this was in 2000 and I think it would have been 2010. I found the house, it was for sale, but it wasn't on the market. I, in the end, agreed to buy it for the mortgage, 89, but I agreed an option for 10 years, which at the time I thought was kind of good. And guess what? It was, because in 2019, when I bought it for 89,000, it was worth so much more than that, it blew everybody's mind. So I had to creatively buy it because it was too much of a good deal. Nowhere on Land Registry is the purchase price there because it's too cheap and my solicitors advised me not to put it down. I then got it valued at over 200 grand, got a mortgage and got a big payout tax-free. So this deal was a little banger, to be honest.
One thing about Samuel is that he used to like having time on his own, even when he was young. I used to say, "What are you doing?" and he'd say, "Looking at the carpet." And then I thought that was a bit of a weird thing to do at the age of 8, but never mind. But then when he was older, I'd say, "Can you remember what you were doing when you were looking at the carpet?" And he was saying, "I was thinking." And I did notice he spent a lot of time thinking. And I think that's when he was thinking up ideas. And he's always been like that.
The people that live here, they're vulnerable people that need sort of support and assistance. So Shaq's company provide floating assistance where they go around the properties, provide support. They get funded by the council. It's good to be able to also, obviously it's a business, but to be able to help people, vulnerable people that need help, that need some sort of support. Look, a random sock hanging from the wall. That's interesting, isn't it? So that's so they can smoke weed and the alarm won't go off, say. When you're homeless and you don't know where to go, you don't have to pay your rent, you've got a disability, what do? You go to the council. What do the council do? The council provide accommodation through housing associations often, and the housing association pays me. And they pay me £1,600 a month, which I'd be able to get more rent for it if I did it room by room to professionals, but I'd then have to pay the bills. I'd have to pay management. I haven't been to this house in 7 years, and it's passive. Hi, how you doing? Great to see you. How long have you lived here then?
Only like 2.5 months now.
Is it? What is it then? So this house, how does it work?
HMO, basically, most people are on benefits, and what they do is come into here, pay £80 service charge a month, and their housing benefits pay for the rest. Like council pay for, let's say, £1,000 or £900 for the actual rent that a person should be paying for a room a month, while we pay a minuscule amount compared to that, just to help us get by. But
then the council top up the difference. And then the housing association that you rent from, they pay me. I get a bit less rent, but it means I'm helping people, and you know what I mean?
Benefits everyone at the...
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, hey, thanks for letting us come around. Thanks for keeping the place in good order as well, man.
Landlord.
All right, yes. Enjoy, man. You have a good one, guys. See you later.
We're part of a housing association. We work with vulnerable tenants, people who are homeless, people in need. It's one of the rented properties that we've got with Samuel. It's very valuable because it's helping people who are vulnerable, get them back on their feet, help them get a job. We've been working with him for the last 5 years. It's a good landlord.
I think it's a different side of seeing to Samuel, because when we're on his courses and we're learning all these things, he's all about make money, make money, make money. And then you see a different side to him now where he's like, well, yeah, it's making me enough. I don't need to be greedy about it. They're looking after me, I'm looking after them. It's okay. And, you know, it just shows a different side to him that I would not have expected.
One of the things I didn't enjoy about school was the fact that every 45 minutes the lesson would change. And the way my brain works, I'm a very obsessive person. It might take me 45 minutes just to get into a subject. And after 45 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm getting it now. Oh, I'm getting geography. Okay. And as I was beginning to get interested in the subject, then I'd be woof in maths. They catered to me. It was a very small school, and they would let me do one subject all day. So, but as a result, I sat on my own desk, alone, isolated. I wasn't particularly popular. I was failing in school, and I definitely didn't have high hopes for life. So I was walking home here, and there was a group of kids here, and this is where I got stabbed.
I'm just trying to remember how old he was. 14, gone out for a nice meal with the girlfriends. In the distance, they could see a few lads, looked a bit thuggy, standing on a wall. Well, as they got close to the wall, one of the lads on the wall kicked Samuel in the head. Other yobbos, older, some of them were like 18, ran out with broken bottles and snooker cues and stuff and started attacking them.
I've still got a scar, I don't know if you can see it, on my head here. When that happened, I was like so angry about it that it kind of jeopardised my relationship with God. And when I was 16, that was when I felt God come into my heart. That one night, just in my room, Holy Spirit came to me and said, how can you hold unforgiveness knowing I forgive you? And now all of my businesses and my properties and everything, but like my faith is an integral part of my business. So that was the moment right here. And that's why when Joseph says, Genesis 50:50, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. So that's like a big part of my story. But anyway, my sermon is finished. Back to business. Amen. Back to business. So this house was bought by me and my bro for 120 grand. It was already functioning as 3 flats, but it just wasn't technically split on the titles. So we split it into 3 flats, cost us 40 grand for the conversion. So in total we spent 160, and then we got it valued at 240. So it was a nice, clean 80 grand profit. I like to keep my family on the in. Dan Pena told me, don't work with your family. You'll never be a billionaire working with your family. That's against everything I stand for. I want to pull my family in. My family helped me. My mum, when I was starting out property, believed in me. So I like to try and keep everything from within the family, and I think it works. Growing up, me and Russell always got on. We were always best friends. He was the one. Usher, smarter, better at sports, more popular.
I was more sort of responsible and, you know, like for example, when we used to catch the bus to Warsaw every day, and he was like clueless, like on another planet in a way. He wouldn't know where to get off the bus. He missed his stop or whatever. He was just screwed. He wasn't bothered about being popular or liked or sports. He was just kind of in his own little world.
You know, Russell found this. This was like his baby, and he told me he was buying this, and I was like, oh, I'd make a great HMO. And he was like, I don't think we should do it as a HMO. I think we split it to flats.
When we decided to team up, we'd been running our own separate businesses for years, and we used to meet up once a week and sort of business coach one another, sort of accountability partners. So we knew each other's strengths, we knew each other's weaknesses.
I guess that's when you could argue that I became a property developer at that point. It was this project kind of turned me, seeing what my brother was doing, and his mindset, into a property developer.
When we tell people, they're often quite surprised at how much thought and effort went into the partnership, rather than just, oh, we're brothers, let's team up and do a business. It was very much thought through. What are your skills? What are my skills? What are you bringing to the table? How are we going to work together?
So we split it into 3 flats. So in total we spent 160, and then we got it valued at 240. So it was a nice, clean 80 grand profit.
I'm more of a figures, systems type guy. The business is called Samuel Leeds, and I'm cool with that. I'm not bothered. I don't crave attention or whatever. So I'm very happy to let him have the limelight, him have the glory. As long as I'm getting half the money, I'm cool.
If it wasn't for Russell, I would probably be even more generous than I am, but a lot poorer.
Sandra said, if it wasn't for Russell, I'd probably be even more generous than I am, but a lot poorer. What do you think of that?
That's funny. I think I'm just a lot more balanced. I think I keep him in check a little bit. But yeah, he's very generous. But I mean, obviously, he loves being generous. I wouldn't say I was not generous. I would just say I'm more balanced.
See, that doesn't open. Yeah, I'm pushing it. It's unlatched and it doesn't open. So in the summer, that's going to get roasting. No, we will get a handyman out to sort these out. I'm going to go meet the agent now, so I'll have a chat.
It's a lovely flat and I'm not going to get nothing like this.
We want it to be nice for you, though.
Lovely, I want to stay here.
Yeah, but it's just a case of just getting it so that the windows are sealed properly.
It's cold. But you know, as I said, it's a lovely flat.
Yeah.
She's lovely upstairs.
No, that's reasonable. I'll speak to the letting agent and I'll see what we can do, all right? Have a lovely day, okay? Thanks so much. I don't really generally go to my properties that often. You sort of buy it, get management systems in place, and then move on to the next deal. But I do think it's important to sometimes go and visit and actually meet with your tenants, because I've been very surprised. She wasn't unhappy, she likes the place, but there was small changes, like the window can't open, and she's boiling in the summer. and she really wants someone to come out and fix the window, it's probably going to cost £100 to send a maintenance man, and it's going to make the world of difference to her throughout the summer. It shows again the responsibility as a landlord and as a property owner. If you just are a decent landlord, you're making people's lives a lot better. Good to see you. How you doing, mate?
Toby.
Toby?
Yeah.
How old are you, Toby? 5 years old. I've got a boy who's 6 years old, so about the same age. Mate, I've got to show you our bus. Look at this, bro. I'm not egotistical or anything. It wasn't my design. Come on in. When I used to get trolled, your missus used to defend me.
Yeah.
I remember the words somebody said to me the once. They said, so there was on about good landlords, and,
Yeah.
and I remember putting it on your profile once and just defending something. And I said, yeah, well, Sam is a good landlord, and so is Amanda. And I remember them turning around to us and saying, well, what makes him a good landlord? And I said, well, actually, it allows us to live in the house and it becomes our house. And we've been there 10 years now, haven't we, Toby? Well, you haven't been, 'cause you're 5. You know, but we've been there 10 years. But Amanda, his wife, and Sam, if we ever needed anything doing, we could literally WhatsApp them, text them within sort of 24 hours, if not sooner. They're straight on there for us. I really appreciate everything you've done for us, actually. You've been an absolute diamond, and Amanda's been amazing too. Your wife is...
She's a good egg, man.
Do you know what? The other day, right, I'll be honest with you, she had like a baby in her arms and everything like this. She was doing business, feeding the baby, you know, backwards and forwards. I was like, she literally is a woman who does everything. I mean, I shouldn't really say this on the camera, right, but he's never even put the rent up, so, you know, for 10 years, so he's not a money grabber. They're just beautiful people. There's a couple of times when I changed jobs, for instance, and there's 1 or 2 times when I had to just delay a payment to the date. There wasn't an issue with it. But I will miss them. We'll miss them, definitely.
Amanda's the one. If people don't know, Amanda manages the whole portfolio, everything. And for me, it's quite passive because I've got tenants, got the management companies, got Amanda. Occasionally, Amanda might ask me something. I'm like, I don't know, you sort it. She runs the show. What I do is I find the deals, I negotiate, I'll be putting the creative plan, I'll be pushing. But then as soon as the deal's done, pass it to Amanda. Even the refurb. See, I won't be overseeing this refurb, Amanda will. So I even messaged Amanda, I just said, I just told the tenants in the last house that we're going to get them a new kitchen. She just put a thumbs up. That's it now, I never hear of it again. It just gets sorted. That's how it needs to be. You need, you know, roles and responsibilities, you know what I mean? So, shout out to Amanda.
I think what really struck me today is online, I usually see Samuel talking with big millionaires, billionaires, Dan Pena, Andrew Tate, billionaires from Africa. Yet today, I've actually seen him talk to some people who are just paying £500 per month rent. They're not particularly rich people by any means, yet he's also able to connect so well with these people. He's able to engage with them on a really deep level, and you can see the deep respect that these people have for Samuel. Some of these people have been renting from him for 5-10 years.
I've heard people say, buy the worst house in the best street. What I say is, build the no house in the best street. In other words, buy land and build. That is where the profit is. These houses that you can see behind me, these 3 houses, and also there's 3 behind them as well, and I built all 6 of them from scratch, making £500,000 profit in a single year. This is where the true money is made.
This is the famous 6-house development. I was really inspired by this, but it's all started from this development.
So this was a piece of land that was found by a guy called Trevor. He said he wanted to do a partnership. After much negotiation back and forth, I agreed to give him 30% on the agreement that I put in all the money, 300 grand for the land, £500,000 for the build, we sell, and then the profit we split. 9 months. We built these 6 houses. We had a GDV of £1.35 million. Now in the final month, Trevor said to me, I want to get 50%. And I said, no. When the projects were finished and we put them on for sale, he rented them out. When you rent out a new build, it drops in value by 10% at least. So what happened is I took him to court and I won in court. Not only did I win in court, but also because he breached his contract, I managed to kick him out altogether and I took 100% of the profit. Wow. He made nothing. He made nothing. So all the profit went to me. And not only that, but because he'd spent the money before making it and being greedy, I took him to court I liquidated his companies and I bankrupted him personally. I'll happily throw you a rope and help you out, but you take advantage of mess, you're gonna go to the cleaners. So Trevor, you should be ashamed, and that's what happens. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Your house.
Yeah, we built the house a few years back.
That's a big moment. Oh, that's a big
Yeah.
moment. But you're late.
I'm late, I'm sorry.
I'm not late.
Yeah, I finished.
I know it's yours, but I'm a lorry driver, you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, you need to drive our bus then.
Okay.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Do you guys know each other, right?
Not quite.
Well, let's introduce you. 5C, 5B, be acquainted.
First time saying hello to you. Okay, can I ask you a question? Yes. Was it one of your first development, or your second, your third? I mean, this.
Now I've been in property for 17 years.
Okay.
So it wasn't my first, but it's the one I'm very proud of it still.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the gardens. You know what though? We had to be really creative with these.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I said, I'm not blaming anything. I'm just saying, like, if they will be a little bit taller.
What, the fences?
Yeah, the fence. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that.
Yeah.
That's interesting
But
you say
that's why
that.
I got the gazebo.
Yeah,
You know what I
we had a long discussion about this, and we said, if the fences are high, could it feel a bit crammed and claustrophobic? And is it nice that the neighbours potentially can kind of talk? But we didn't realise we were going to have such an antisocial person that doesn't even know their neighbour. You know what I mean? We thought the tenants would be like friendly with one another, so...
You know, because I like to hike. So it takes me back to those.
You know what
days,
though?
you know
Maybe we could put, if everybody wants big fences, we can put big fences. You know, we could do that.
The house is nice, man. It's really nice and cozy, especially like in the winter time. And I think the landlord is brilliant as well. You know what I mean? Very understanding person.
Question for you. You know the garden? You know the low fences? Good or bad idea? See? I'm alright to pop in quickly? Yeah, I'll take my shoes off. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is it. £900 a month rent. It's all right. But the main profit was the £500,000 we made when we finished the build. You know what though? Even though they're quite small houses and the build was quite cheap, it's not been built cheap. Because people say, oh, $500,000, I bet it's like cardboard. Well, it does feel a bit like cardboard, but it's not. It's actually pretty solid. Let me get a wall that's not like cardboard. Nah, it's all like cardboard.
That one's good.
Yeah, that one would do.
Don't knock it too hard.
Yeah. Nah, it's cardboard. Oh, goodness. All right, you win, trolls. Oh, baby shower. Now I need to know, was it a boy or a girl? Do you know yet? A boy! Congratulations. That's so exciting.
So we've been here for 5 months.
Yeah, and I really think when we came for the viewing, we were really convinced because everywhere was really cool, neat, the finishings were so perfect, and we felt this is a place to actually be.
It's amazing, it's amazing. Seeing people build families. I've got 4 children myself. It's amazing, it's amazing. So, thank you guys.
This is the whole thing. I mean, it's not about making money. It's about doing something that gives back, that makes a difference to somebody else's life.
We can teach you if you want to start building and getting in the game. I can show you how.
So are you?
And I'd love nothing more than to help my tenants buy and build houses. That's a dream for me.
I wouldn't mind.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Great.
In a way, for me, I don't know. I believe in fate. I believe for me to be in this property, it was not by mistake. It was something called me to meet up with him, and so maybe in the future he might be helping me out to do some property development. It's just game changer, if I can say, for myself, to be honest. So it's a game changer for me.
If I'm buying land without planning, what I always do is buy it on an option. Buy it on an option, get planning, and then build? Nah. Sell with planning, and you can do that in a pension. So if you've got a SAS pension like I have, you can buy commercial property, i.e. land, tax-free, get planning, and then sell. All the profit goes into your pension. You pay no tax. We don't own it anymore, so don't be like going into the windows and stuff. This is something I did with my mum. Little side quest. There was a garage, and what we did was knock down the garage, and then we split the title. We sold the house for 185 grand, but the land we sold separately for 77 grand. Generally speaking, the profit is not in the build. The profit's in the planning. All right, let's go! Welcome to sunny Buckinghamshire. So, using my old school method of buying a house but paying for it later, I apply that to land. So I'll find land that's not got planning permission. Land without planning permission is just grass. And this land is a prime example. So right from the very beginning where the road is, up until almost as far as you can see, all of this land we've secured on an option agreement. So we've agreed to buy it subject to planning. How much do you reckon I paid? £1, of course. Initially we put a pre-app in that was rejected, but they came back and said, look, access is fine, we're happy for you to put a road, we like the scheme in principle, but it was just too many houses. We're putting another scheme in now, which is just for 7 houses, but kind of big houses, because we're in quite a nice area. Then what we'll do is we'll build the houses, yeah? No. No, we don't want to deal with all that. Then what we'll do is we'll assign the option to someone that wants the trouble of building the houses, but our profit is in the planning. There's a reason that I don't normally show off all the stuff that I'm doing. You have to keep things a bit quiet. I say that on camera. It's annoying because it's like, man, if you've got land and the government right now are saying that to be on track, we need to build a new house every 2 minutes. And I'm saying, I got land, I got money, let's go. And they're going, no, because there's a tree over here. It's like, move out the way. When I build houses, do you know what happens? It means that houses become more affordable. So we're moaning about cost of living crisis, housing crisis. I'm here trying to change it and save it, and the councils are making our lives a misery, which is really frustrating.
What's the problem here? Because the government's instruction has to be build more houses.
Correct.
So why are they doing this? It doesn't make sense.
You're preaching to the choir, sister. It doesn't make sense.
What's that?
No.
Oh, well, I don't really like this. No, I hate filming. I'm Amanda and I'm Samuel's wife. We've been married for 10 years and we have 4 beautiful kids together. So I've known Samuel for 11 years, but we've been married 10. We got married like pretty fast, within 9 months of knowing each other, meeting for the first time. So me and Samuel met at a wedding and it was really unexpected. I travelled from Leeds to Warsaw for this wedding and it was an African wedding, so it was Zimbabwean and someone from Ghana getting married. And then he turned up and it looked a bit out of place and I wondered who he knows here. And then he ended up at the table with my family and he then started doing some magic tricks and then he ended up sat next to me and then that's how we started talking. First month was literally just, we'd be up on the phone all night until the early hours of the morning, asking each other all the deal breaker questions. And then I think after the first month, it was just like, yeah, we definitely want to be with each other, definitely want to get married. Family is everything to Samuel. That's one of the things that attracted me to him. I remember when we were first dating, he invited me to come around for Sunday lunch with his family. And I thought, oh, that's really sweet because not many guys would do that. So we got engaged in December 2014. Leading up to that sort of time, one day Samuel just said to me, oh, I've got something to tell you. And I was just like, okay, what? And then he said, I'm actually £1 million in debt. And I was just like, oh. I was like, oh, don't worry, babe. Like, we'll just work hard and then we'll just pay the money off, at some point. Like, it didn't really faze me. And then he said, oh, but actually, I've also got, lots and lots of properties. So actually, yes, I'm £1 million in debt, but if you average up my net worth, I'm actually not in debt like that. I'm a millionaire. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, that's good then. I loved him so much, it didn't really matter to me about the debt.
I've always been quite public about my properties because I'm from the black country and I'm from the business groups and the clubs and people knew me. So they'd be like, oh, Samuel, can you speak about what you've done? So I'm like, oh yeah, sure. So I started sharing my tips and successes. I get so many opportunities because I'm public about what I'm doing. But that has its downsides as well. Hello, I'm just thinking about a property that I saw on 275 Broad Lane in Bloxwich.
Yes, what's your name?
Samuel.
Okay, and how many people are moving in?
Is it for sale or is it for rent? No, because I thought it was for sale.
It's for sale as well.
Oh, it's for sale and for rent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's it on for sale for?
It's on at 148,000.
148. What's the rent on it? What's it on for rent?
900.
900 a month. Potentially, would I be able to rent it, but with an option to buy it down the line?
No.
But is it not for sale and for rent?
Yeah, it is for sale, but not with an option to buy it down the line. So,
But if the seller wants to rent it and potentially also wants to sell it. Oh, okay.
What's all this?
I want you to be extra safe by getting like lots of surveyors to come.
What, you all coming in?
Yes.
It's not my property yet, is it? It doesn't go through.
It's not completed yet, no, but we're in conveyancing.
Well, the property hasn't gone through yet, so it's not. He doesn't own it yet.
I'm so sorry if the memo didn't get passed. I know we've not completed on it yet. I think we're due to complete in the next few weeks, aren't we?
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. So.
I just thought I was meeting you here. I didn't know about this.
I'm sorry that you didn't get the memo passed, but we'll only be 10 minutes anyway, and then we'll be on to the next. But right. So room number 2. She was so angry. I don't get it. Why was she so irked? We weren't filming her. We were filming a property that I'm buying that's weeks away, 2-3 weeks away from completion. And it was my first time ever seeing it in person, and I'm filming it and I'm bringing a few friends. What the heck? She was fuming.
Samuel said that this is Samuel Leeds. I know who he is.
She said, I know who he is.
Did she? As in, like, she knows who I am because I'm buying the property, or as in, like, I hate him?
No.
Oh, so she's a hater.
Tonight we investigate the so-called property training company
Which expose these property gurus such as Samuel Leeds.
There are so many questions to ask Samuel Leeds. There are so many questions.
Samuel's had a lot of hate over the years, and particularly back in 2019.
Samuel Leeds offers controversial courses on achieving financial freedom.
It was tough. I mean, we went through different stages. So at first, everyone's advice, all the PR firms, everyone's advice was just ignore it. It'll go away. The problem is, and we've learned a valuable lesson here, and actually the guy that helped us shifted our approach to dealing with it was actually Grant Cardone. We were having a chat with Grant, and we said, look, everyone's saying ignore it, and he's like,
lean into it, bro. Lean into the hate. They're giving you energy. If it's not true, then you need to tell the world it's not true. You got to fill the vacuum up.
So that was when we put together the video, which Samuel obviously released.
I'm going to address some of the things that have been made up about me. I don't sell expensive information. I sell training. I've got the email thread proving that I booked a business roundtable session with Lord Sugar. I got real people, buddy. These are real people. The media are trying to make me look bad and trying to discredit me, but it doesn't matter. 93% rated us between a 7 and a 10 out of 10. I'm proud of my results. I'm proud of my training. Stop spreading fake news.
Explaining and saying, no, all these are lies. Here's what actually happened, and putting his side of the story out. And that's where it sort of began to shift. And everyone was like, okay, there's now two sides. If I had to sit back and go, what was the most groundbreaking piece of advice as a business that you've had since working with Samuel, I would say that conversation with Grant was probably the most important conversation that we've ever had.
I think that when you're doing property, if you do it quietly, it's fine. But as soon as you bring cameras and stuff like that, people hate you. Which is why I get a lot of hate. I mean, going around, look, man, I got millions of properties and I'm in a bus and here's my face on the bus. Oh, look at me, I'm rich. Like, that irks people.
Oh, the hair is absolutely awful. It really annoys me because I just think people online love to say things. But it's always people that have never actually experienced Samuel. If you know Samuel and you know his heart, you just would never ever say anything bad about him because all he's doing is good. There's never gonna be someone who's doing better than you that's, you know, tearing you down online. So usually I just think, oh, whatever.
But I was wanting to go to the outside and just point.
And then you need to wear boots when you go in.
Yes, if you could. If you don't have boots, I didn't have boots last time and I was just like, man, I'm calm. I didn't have any boots. I was wearing pumps. And then within 20 seconds, I stood on a nail and it went right into my foot and I had to get Hepta's jab. So definitely you should wear boots. All right, in a bit, guys. There we go. Right, come on through. So we bought this on an option agreement, paid £25,000 only as the deposit, and the agreement was that we had the option to buy it for 975 grand, i.e. £1 million in total. But then when we paid the 25 grand, we then got planning permission. So we got planning permission accepted for 48 apartments. Yeah, it was a rundown factory.
You know what it produced?
What, in rent?
What the factory makes.
Mate, all I know is revenue, brother. Oh, jeez. Does anyone else want to be... Is anyone else a bit more... Go on, Narelle. So these are the codes I've got. These are the many codes. You got it! You didn't even know the code. There's me with the code. Hey! All right, let's go. Watch your feet. Watch where you step. Land in this location, this big, for £1 million is pennies. So it was about 2 years ago now when we first found this site. And, you know, it's kind of an impressive site. It was brought to us by a student. Now, the best part is, how much money do you reckon I put in to buy this? None. I didn't put a penny in. It was financed by private investors. So we got people like... You are one! Now, this is the interesting part. Now, we already had a planning application for 48 apartments. So rather than resubmitting the plans from scratch, what we did was we piggybacked onto his planning application. By the time we'd re-amended the planning, our builders had gone on to other job. By the time we found new builders, guess what had happened? The cost of the refurb went from 3.5 plus all the professionals, about 4 million, to like 5.9.
Wow.
It just killed the profit. I then get an offer, and we worked out if we sold it for 1.5 million, we worked out we'd make a profit, a net profit percentage of 19.6%. So when we had the offer to sell it, we approached our investors and we said, look, we've had an offer to sell. The profit's going to be 19.6%. We'll round it up to 20. And we paid our investors back. So you've been paid back, right? So we paid our investors back with 20%, right?
He's honest in his dealings with his investors, that sometimes things happen. He gave the choice to either keep investing with him or to take the money. But that just shows his integrity as a person. He's honest and he says what he does and does what he says. But I'm also pleased that I invested and I got my return on investment, so now I can find my own BRR and take things from there, and I'm happy.
But if I'm in a project and I'm relying on the council, I'm relying on this, and I just don't want investors. I'd rather just say, you know what, guys, let's get you out of the deal, and then I can just breathe, and it's my project. I ain't got to worry, especially if I've got investors that are like, fucking Sandra, she'd come for me. You know what I mean? If we finished it now, I reckon we'd be hard-pressed to even get 20%. So why am I going to finish it when I could just sell it? In fact, everything's for sale. All my portfolio, all my businesses, everything's for sale. What about my training? My training business, no one will buy it because it's a job. My training business is a job. Also, I'll tell you something interesting. Guess how much money my training business made last year?
Nothing.
Correct. None. Also, a lot of our 30% of our academy members now are associates. Associate members pay £2,000, and for that they get all the dinners, all the mentor, and all that. We lose a lot. But I'm doing it because, do you know when you've got people like Amazon, all these companies don't make money for like decades because I'm in this for the long game. I'm not trying to make a quick buck and sell a course. I'm trying to grow an infrastructure and create a movement and do something which is going to be remembered for hundreds of years.
Legacy.
Correct. Honestly, when I make decisions on my businesses, I'm thinking about 50 years. You know what I reckon we should do? Get some freaking high-vis, get some pictures, get some content. You guys can film some content in here as well. I started marketing my services on YouTube. So I'd my own houses and my investors' houses, I'd show on YouTube. Hey, I've just bought this house for Bob. And Bob was really happy with it. Bob, what do you think about the house? And then Bob would talk, we'd do a little tour, and I'd say, if you want to buy a property like this, then give your details below and I'll put you on the list. The property business is not a property business, it's a people business. Money doesn't come from property, money comes from people. Because this is a site where you know, the profit's been made, Sandra's made her money, 20%. Do it now, Sandra.
All right, it's an investment that I invested in 2 years ago, and I got 20% return on my investment. And I'm not good at this at all.
Keep going, girl!
So it's a 20,000 square foot factory.
It was a business and now it's a bit derelict, as you can see.
We're on the site tour. I invested in this investment.
He's working on the Carnum Commission, so this is how it is.
I invested some money 2 years ago, and I'm happy to say that I got 20% on my return on my investment, and so...
Right next to one of Samuel's projects from about 2 years ago now.
So he's showed us his 10 million portfolio.
And I am glad to say that I have made a 20% return on my investment.
Okay? That's good, man.
It's such a strong group of people that he's invited to come for this. And I mean, I can't wait to see what everybody does now as takeaways in business. It's just going to be very exciting.
This deal is a money pit. I bought it for 810,000. And I worked out that if I restored it, the end value would be 7 million plus. But it didn't work like that. When we'd spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on Ribsford House, but it didn't look any different. And I realised, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to spend 6 figures a year just to keep this place. It was quite demoralising because all the other deals that I was doing, these little houses, and the profit was just being dumped into this big green machine that was just taking all my money.
So we saw Ribsford for sale on Rightmove, and it was just like, how can that much property, you know, 8 acres of land, 20,000 square feet building, looks like a castle, how can that much property be so cheap? We're like, surely there's going to be some profit in there somehow. So we were quite excited about the prospect of it, but looking back, we were so naive, it was unbelievable.
The reason everyone was scared to buy it when it was on auction, it was like, whoa, Japanese knotweed, it's riddled with Japanese knotweed. Oh, there's structural problems, there's cracks, it's got structural cracks. Oh, everyone's worried. I bought it real fast like a G, got the Japanese knotweed sorted in 3 months, got my expert guys in, we got crack stitching done, structural engineer signed it off, sorted. So very quickly, I'm like, man, I'm banging this out, this is... But then we ran into further problems. The problem with this building has not been that it needs a big refurb. It has been dealing with Wyre Forest Council. It has been dealing with English Heritage. It has been dealing with the bat licence. After we bought it, we found out that there was bats living upstairs. What I didn't realise is you can't disturb the bats. The Batman told us that we needed to rehome the bats. So we had to build a hotbox upstairs at the top of the castle for the bats to be able to hang out, mate, do their thing, have fun, have a party, rent-free, forever. Literally, that delayed us over a year. It was my very first proper development project. It was a little bit embarrassing as well, because it was in the papers and stuff like, oh wow, young entrepreneur buys a castle, is going to renovate it. And people were asking me every week, have you finished your castle yet? have you made your millions on the, how's the castle? And it's like, yeah, We
bought that one first. The amount of deals that we've bought since and completed and built since completed, and that's still there ticking along in the background, is unbelievable. But we've learned so much from it, because everything that possibly could go wrong, or any obstacle or problem that could come up that you might face, has hit us with Ribswood House. So from a learning perspective, unbelievable.
The fact that it's grade 2 star listed means you can't change anything without making it like for like. So when we had changed the windows, in my mind I'm like, okay, windows cost a couple thousand. Oh, these windows, oh, 50,000, okay. And also the annoying thing about this building is, I've got the money and have had the money for years to refurb it, but I'm just not allowed, which is really frustrating. Because it's a listed building, what that means is that the building is of the public interest. I mean, this building's got its own Wikipedia page. During the war, we had 200 Free French soldiers that lived here and trained here for the war. In fact, when I bought this building in 2018, one of the last standing Free French soldiers reached out to me. She sent me a handwritten letter, and he said, I saw the building going to rack and ruin and wearing down, and I'm so glad that you bought it, and I'm so glad that you're repairing it. I mean, for me, we're restoring a legacy, we're restoring a piece of history. It's a slight sentimental thing as well. I'm just going to show you the magnitude of the size of the building. Bear in mind, this is just one wing. Bear in mind, we have 8 acres of land. This is 20,000 square feet. Also, when you look out the window, as far as your eyes can see, it's all part of the estate. If this went on Rate My Deal, I think it would come back with can't be rated. Even now, the levels of due diligence are impossible to do. Because how can you quote? Do you take this off? Plaster? Paint? What's behind? And with everything being listed, how much is it going to cost to change that window? It has to be exactly like for like. How is it possible for anybody to know? The investors that put money into this, by the way, after about 18 months, when I realised, oh my goodness, this is not quite what I thought, we paid the investors all their money back, gave 10% on top, because that's what you do, right? Reputation is more important than revenue. It's not a case of lack of vision, it's not a case of lack of finance, it's a case of lack of permission. And for someone that is your own boss, I want to do what I want. If you've got a listed building and it's protected, it's not my building, everybody else has a say, which is fine. That's what I signed up for when I bought it. I could sell it tomorrow. Any offers? We got the structure sorted, we got the Japanese knotweed gone, we got the Batman off our back, happy, and everything was fine until in 2023. There was a terrible thing that happened. If you've got 24 people all living here, what do they all need? Parking. Car park that was there when we bought the property was not a car park, it was a forest. The seller, he got permission from the Forestry Commission to knock down the trees with the clause that he would replant the trees within 2 years. He knocked down the trees, he turned it into a car park to sell the building. He sold the building to some dum-dum namely me. So when my planning consultant looked at the drawings and everything, my planning consultant was like, yes, we think you'll be okay, it should work, everything was fine. But then what happened was, I got an email from Forestry Commission in 2023, basically says in summary, there's a clause that was somewhere in your legal pack. If you didn't see it, not my problem, but you have to change the car park, turn it back into a forest, and you have to, by law, plant 300 trees where the car park was. So we had to plant 300 trees, which then meant that the council said, well, we can't give you planning permission for these apartments and houses because you've got no car park. So you've got Forestry Commission saying one thing, English Heritage saying another, the council all with their own agendas, and then me in the middle trying to keep everybody happy but also trying to make a small profit. But really at this point giving up on everything apart from just wanting to finish the project but can't. Let me show you the old car park. That's now a forest. We agreed to put the trees down Sunday the 15th of June, and then guess who was here 8:30 on the Monday? Forestry Commission to check that we'd done it. And they actually was shocked that we did. He said to Simon, he said most developers wouldn't do it, but what can you do? Anyway, welcome to our new forest. So I officially planted 300 trees. I think sometimes it's easy to say, oh, I know that. Lots of people will say, oh, I'd know not to have bought it. But you don't know something properly until you've lived it. But it was tough. You know, I was just in my 20s. And what it did do is it forced me to get better. Jim Rohn, who I've spent thousands of hours listening to, even as a kid, he said, don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills, and never wish that it was easier. Instead, wish that you were better. And I think through the struggle of that, not only did I learn loads on the site, but the fact that my cash flow was being taken, it forced me to have to get some more lucrative and bigger deals. And all these years later, it's still a money pit, but we are where we are. You can do deals and you can make a bunch of money and you can think like, oh my gosh, and you end up thinking, everything I touch turns to gold, man. And then when you become arrogant, that's when you normally have a downfall. You're gonna get hit, you're gonna get some bumpy roads, but it's part of the journey. Is that all right, motivational enough? Ready? Hey! I just bought this piece of land in the centre of Buxton in the Peak District, and this has got planning permission now for 30 glamping pods. That is how you can buy a cheap little bit of land and get a lot of revenue from it. And the best part is, when you buy commercial land, you don't pay the same stamp duty rates, and you can buy it in your SAS fund, which means that the income is completely tax-free. So welcome to Staddon Grange. This was a hotel I purchased just last year for £1.4 million. We're right in the heart of Buxton. We've got over 2 acres of land, and the area for this I know works because I've got other properties in the area that work really well. So the market's pretty tested. So when we bought this hotel, it had 24 rooms. What we've done is we've reconfigured it and turned it into 13 cottages. This side, this is all going to be one cottage. No, everything you see this is all one. Yeah, they're all big. So this is all going to be a living room with an open kitchen, beautiful high end, and this is your ensuite bedroom. Normally when you rent a hotel room, you'd rent this. But you've got this, but then you've also got your other bedroom, you've got your lounge, your kitchen, you've got the whole, so it's a holiday home. The space was big, the location was fantastic, but it was marketed badly. They weren't using the space right, and I saw the value and thought if we could lift the commercial revenue, we could potentially even double the value of the building. Cottage 2 is everything that's to the right here. This is pretty much ready to go, man. Kitchen, lounge, bedroom, ensuite, small self-contained holiday let. Cottage number 3 starts from here, so this is the door. The views are fantastic, you can see all the land. Oh, how beautiful is this? I'd stay here. So in total, there'll be 5 units this side, and then there's 4 here, for here. And we've got planning permission already in place for 30 glamping pods. That's again going to increase the revenue, which ultimately increases the value of the entire estate. One of the biggest questions that you guys have asked me on a one-on-one basis whenever I've been chatting with you is, what's the reason that I even do this? I guess the reason I'm doing this is because when I started, when I was 17 years old, there wasn't really anybody that I could look up to and admire that was the real deal, that would actually just say, here's my portfolio, come and look round, here's my strategies. So for me, why am I doing this? I think it's because I'm trying to create a culture of transparency and to create a culture of leveling the playing field. For me, that's a purpose. That's a mission. That's something that will last. And here is to the next best 10 years.
So the community in the academy is what's got me through the last 5 years. I knew, hands down, from first experience, the difference that he made in my life. Even today, I was having a really, really hard time today. And then I just sent him a message and I said, I don't know what to do, but I have to go. And I can't go to dinner, I can't go tomorrow, I have to go. And then immediately he's like, get off the bus and I'll pick you up. I had like a whole chart of problems. So many problems. Like immigration, I'm paying 3 lawyers. I'm immigration, a marriage divorce lawyer, and property and business. And there's no one magical lawyer that knows everything. But Samuel's just like, so this is what we're gonna do. And it's gonna be okay. And you know what? You need to say this and this and this. And I'm gonna find somebody to do this, this, and this, and it's gonna be okay. You need to come up with a plan. We're gonna help you come up with a plan. It's okay. I'm like, what do I do? Do I tell my mom? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, what? Yes. I'm like, okay. It's really something to have. He's like my godfather, even though he's 15 years younger than me. He's just such a protector. And he's always been like that from day one.
Hey, babe.
Hey, how you doing?
Nearly there now.
And all the tenants of the little houses were raving about you. They were saying you're the best landlady.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet.
It was. You'd have actually quite liked it. I'm looking forward to getting back.
Oh yeah.
Being in my own bed. I'm looking forward to getting back.
Noah. All right, see
I'll speak to you in a bit. Bye. Love you.
Love you, bye.
I think for me, what's more impressive in a way and what's more meaningful is not the buildings, but it's the people. So most of the people that are here on site coming out with me are property millionaires and they've got their own stories to tell. It's almost like my drive is to achieve success, to be able to be a role model and to be able to show people that are also maybe from Warsaw with nothing, to show them what's possible and pull them up. Samuel Johnson came to the country with nothing. He spent 6 months trying to get his first rent to rent, getting rejected. Now he's got 56 units. Like, seeing the stories of the people, I think is more of a legacy than even the building itself. So we've just got a new sign, a Samuel Leeds Hotel. Now I've sent you guys everything. I don't know if you have had a chance to look at all the documents. Covenant, restriction order, public notice order, title deeds, plans. Took me quite a long time to negotiate. The seller who was selling it was from Hong Kong. They wanted £2 million for it, and I negotiated to buy it for £2 million, but I had a 10-year option. And in the meantime, I'm paying £6.5 a month rent just so it can wash its face, and then I'm paying 2 million in the next 10 years. I will not pay 2 million in 10 years though. It will be less than 10 years. Because as soon as this property becomes worth about 4, I'm gonna buy it. My sister said, £1 option is kind of taking the mickey a little bit. Why don't you do a 10,000 option? But I wanted to buy it with a £1 deposit just for the story. Just to be able to forever say, I bought this hotel with a £1 deposit. So at the moment we're charging about £110 per night. The plan is to increase that a little bit as we get more reviews. It's a C1 property, so it had planning permission to be a hotel, and it was running as a hotel, but it was a little bit shabby. Just before COVID, it was used as a school, so it was a little bit confused. So you'd walk in and there'd be like a shabby hotel room, and then here there'd be like a whiteboard. It was all a little bit confused. It really needed vision, and my vision for it was to turn it into a high-end hotel and rent it out.
What shocked me the most is how low the rent is and how much of a steal it is. It's like a hidden gem opportunity. Obviously, it's a gorgeous building. I think it's got loads and loads of potential. I mean, I'm not surprised because Samuel's got his fingers in everything.
This is the reason why, when I've got some of my other developments, like Ribsford House, and it's like, oh, it's painful, and I'm not making money on it. But you have to look at the portfolio as a whole, and it's a game. It's a game at the end of the day. You're gonna have mistakes, you're gonna win some, you're gonna have losses, you're gonna lose some. It's part of the game. But so far, this one has been my most high profit earner. But you don't know. It could be that we go into another pandemic and suddenly I lose all my bookings. You can't get too comfortable. You need to continue pushing and pushing and pushing. Pride comes before a fall. So as soon as you get too arrogant and wah, then that's when problems can come. So you're best off to just keep calm. See the money coming in, fine. See the money being lost over here, fine. It's part of the game. If you buy a building and you refurbish it, that refurbishment is not tax deductible. However, with this building, we don't own it. Yet, we're renting it. And our company that's renting it, namely Samuel Leeds Developments, can't rent it out properly without a refurb. So it needs to refurbish it in order to rent it. Therefore, the refurb is tax deductible. The refurb is now a loss. Samuel Leeds Developments is now sitting at a £200,000 loss, which means that when Samuel Leeds Development starts making money, it can claim that loss against the profits. And not only that, but we're benefiting because we're adding value to the building, which we've got a set price of $2 million to buy it. So Adam is the manager of the hotel. So even though it's serviced accommodation in the sense of we've got everything's all keypads and it's all systemised and automated, we do still need Adam, of course. Otherwise, I'd have to do everything, which would be an absolute disaster.
Yeah, in the hospitality industry, there's not very many jobs like this, and actually I'm really quite privileged to be working in some place like this and turning what was once a wonderful Victorian mansion house back to being a wonderful Victorian mansion house. So, yeah, thank you for the opportunity, Samuel. It's a privilege and it's great to be here. We've got 6 rooms up here that we're doing at the moment, and it's the Victorian wing of the house, and so we're sort of attempting to keep it as traditional Victorian as we possibly can do.
How much do you reckon we'll get for this room a night?
We'll be looking around about the sort of 300-400 mark initially, I think. And I think as we progress the building and start bringing in some of the wedding business that we're trying to bring in, I think we can probably push that little bit further. And
it sounds like quite a lot, because at the moment we're getting like £110 a night on average.
Yeah.
So 350 sounds like a lot.
But there's very little else in Cambridge that is this quality. There's a couple of really good hotels in Cambridge, and there's a couple of new apart hotels that are opening up, but they don't have this. Go into Cambridge and you can't walk on the grass. Come to Willingham House, you'd be the lord or lady of the manor for a weekend. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the selling point that we have.
So question, ChatGPT. I'm the owner of Willingham House. It's got 26 bedrooms. Last month we had our best ever month with a turnover of £83,000. However, that was me really actively pushing it like mad. Question for you is, do you think £1 million revenue next year, over a 12-month period, is realistic for a building like Willingham House Hotel?
Congratulations on your brief moment of peak performance. If you actually invest in real marketing, optimize your pricing, squeeze in events and weddings, you could get past the £1 million line. But that's not passive income, my dude. That's hustle.
How much do you think the building will be worth once I've been able to show multiple years worth of proven revenue at the hotel?
With clean books, decent profit, and no major red flags, 2.9 million to 3 point pounds, conservatively. Could it be more? Absolutely. If your branding is strong, then sure, £4 million isn't a fantasy, just a very demanding one.
If you've got a set price of 2 million to buy it in 2 years, if it's worth 3 million in 2 years, I'll probably wait a little bit. When it gets to worth 4 million, I'll buy it. So with these guys that I'm taking on this tour, they're my academy members. So I set the community up, not just to mentor people and to train people and educate people, but also to give them a leg up.
My life would be very different. I would never be, being able to have 3 holidays in a month or 3 holidays every 3 years, I do what I want to do when I want to do because I have the finance to do that.
For someone like me who is zero knowledge and nothing, I think it's the best place to start. I never thought that I will do these many HMOs.
I never thought 5 years ago that I'd be in a position where I've got Samuel Leeds face to face and asking for advice.
Our academy is a paid membership fee, and then that money that they pay goes back into the business. So we put dinners on, networking events. I also have my solicitor, my accountant, all of the members of the power team. I pay them to mentor the academy members.
Samuel, one thing he's done, he's instilled belief in me. Whenever I'm around him, I genuinely have the belief that I can do exactly what he's doing.
It's a phenomenal thing knowing that he's there. I know I can call on him and ask him for advice, and especially with legal matters, he'd have our backs with that.
We've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. There's nothing that he hasn't done. So anything is achievable.
I'm probably more proud of the deals that I've made happen for them than the deals that I've made happen for me.
Originally, it was just going to be a BRR to single let. In the end, actually, circumstances-wise, we ended up selling it. But we still made a tidy profit, about 40 grand profit, something like that. So we struggled to get finance at the start, and we was waiting for about 9 months. So because it was going to be my first property that I'd done since joining the academy, they wanted to know the experience side of things, and it meant higher interest rates on the bridge, that sort of thing. And it had killed the deal if I'd have gone ahead with the original bridge. But luckily, we had Samuel Leeds Finance, who stepped in at the last minute, saved the deal for us. Samuel Leeds Finance is essentially a bridging company. They'll loan the money that you need for the property in the short term. Traditional bridging loans, they're meant to be quick, but they're really not. There's so much paperwork involved. You do a load of paperwork and then they've got more questions and more paperwork for you to do. But then when we went to Samuel's, it was like, we had everything you wanted already. It was so straightforward. A couple of questions and then bam, the money was there as soon as we needed it. Using the finance as well, it was so quick. I got a decision in 2 days for him to agree to loan, and then I think it was about 2 months, not even 2 months before we completed on the purchase. So really quick, really efficient, and surprisingly saved me money. I can't rate it enough. I'd definitely be using it again. I think he's done it for multiple people. I'm definitely one of many. Do you know how much money he puts aside to do this? It's in the millions. I wouldn't be where I am today without the help of Samuel and his generosity as well. I know he does a lot of charity work. He's built a lot of hospitals and schools in Uganda. He's doing a lot of work there, giving back to the community. He's doing a lot of good stuff there. He doesn't have to go out to Uganda and build schools and build hospitals, but he does, and it just shows you what type of guy he is. He's very generous, very humble, and he just loves to help people. It's his mission to help.
I think it makes it more vibrant that you have everyone in the academy that you can go and speak to people irrespective of your differences or cultural differences. So I think that's a great strength.
Being 23 now, I've already built up a business of 15 serviced accommodation units, but it just goes to show that what Samuel's created is really powerful.
I can't have any more respect for Samuel than I have. He's making so much of a difference in everyone's life. Samuel, all I can do is thank him, from the bottom of my heart. I genuinely believe he's got a heart of gold.
As we drive to my house, we'll go past a bunch of little houses that I own, that I've bought for people. As I said, I've moved 56 people over to this village in total, including children. Started a little school. My kids go there. My sister's kids go there. My brother's kids go there. So, you know, we've got our own little school in the village. For me, a big part of my long-term mission is to bring financial literacy into schools and to empower kids to actually start businesses, be entrepreneurial. Because often the naughty kids are the entrepreneurs. They're the future leaders. They're the movers and shakers. What I will do is start a curriculum. So people don't have to move to Beaconsfield to come to I will start a curriculum which people can, when they home educate their kids, they can use the curriculum. Interestingly, there's nothing wrong with making money, but the question is, what are you leaving behind? I'm trying to make money, absolutely. I'm not ashamed to say, I'm not apologetic to say that I'm a businessman trying to make money. But the big question is, what difference are you making for the world? Are you a net positive? What lasting effects will you leave? The car is here. I'll tell you one thing. The Range Rover is actually smaller than the Mercedes.
Really?
Yes.
Beautiful. Is this it?
Yeah.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Oh my word.
My name is Bonwell Machikanyanga, and Samuel is my son. In our culture, he's my son because he's married to my daughter.
Hello, please meet you.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
This house was given to us on Mother's Day as a present.
Your Mother's Day gift.
We were so thrilled, but it was a shock, but we were so happy.
I want to give a shout out to Dad because when I first started property education and training, Dad used to come all the way from Leeds to Warsaw in his suit.
Yeah.
And come down. But to every event that I was running, Dad would always come down and just support and show support. So I appreciate that.
Thank you so
thank you.
much.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, son. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, son.
Nice to see you. Thanks for letting us come in.
Speaking to a lot of people, you hear how their lives have been changed, impacted by how Samuel runs, his courses. Or in my own experience, I have not seen anybody who has impacted community like Samuel.
Hello! Yeah! Come here, yeah. Oh, wait. How you been? Hello. How have you been?
Good.
You been good? Do you want to go see Daddy's new car?
Yeah.
Come on then.
Okay, inside.
What do you think of the car?
Nice.
Who's that?
Daddy.
Come on then, get on.
It's crunchy. It's a bus.
They're obviously just used to seeing my face on stuff because they didn't really say anything, did they? They were just like, all right, nice design.
Hello.
Right, should we go back in the house?
Yeah.
Come on then, guys.
Your bus is so cool.
It's so cool, isn't it? Yeah. All right.
Luke,
okay.
I'll race you.
Okay, baby. Whee! Come on then, sweetie pie. How have you been? Have you had a lovely week? I missed you.
Samuel retired for a little bit when we were due to have our first baby, Ruby, and he was just going to be a family man at home all the time with the baby. So the baby was born in October. In December, he'd booked to have a cage fight because he had all this pent-up energy that he needed to release. And then basically in the new year after that, January time, he was just back to it. He's just not good at home. That's not his role. I think his calling is truly what he's doing now.
Hello. You were having some alone time with Mummy and now there's 20 people in your house. Is that what's going on?
Really wanted to shout.
Yeah.
Mwah. Tickle, 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 tickle. Tickle, 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 tickle. I think he's a bit on the fence. He's a bit shook.
it's not about the money for him. I think he just loves helping people and that's his thing. So I don't necessarily think that what keeps him going is like the money that he's earning or anything like that. I think he just wants to impact as many people as possible. And he can only do that if he keeps going and going. And yeah, that's where I think that comes from. We moved into this house in 2019 and it looked so different to this. Everything has completely changed now. In there is Samuel's home gym. It's not massive, but it's got everything you need. This is where the kids are allowed to do whatever they want. They can like break anything, do whatever. Right! Wow. Within reason. I actually don't think that Samuel will ever retire. He loves challenges, he loves work, and he's constantly pushing. Like even now, we live in a beautiful house, we have our family. He could retire if he wanted to anytime, but I think it's just in him to work and to grind, and he's always like pushing to do better. So no, I don't think he'll ever retire. So bedrooms, Luke's room through here. Oh. And Luke's showing off his room. Ruby's got a room as well. And then we have Joseph's room. And then this is our bedroom, the main bedroom. When we first moved in, we used to just have a TV stand and then the TV there, but when you're in bed, you had to sort of be looking down at the TV. Get a TV there, and then when we're laying in bed, it's perfect.
Yeah. Mwah.
When we were away filming on the property tour, Samuel said, there is absolutely no way I would be where I am without Amanda. How does that make you feel?
Oh, don't. Oh my gosh, I could literally cry. I don't want to cry. That's really sweet. Oh, I don't want to cry. Need some tissues. Yeah, no, that is... Yeah, he's amazing and I love it. I think I'm just a really good support for him, and I think that we work well as a team. I sort of hold it down at home, and then he runs the business, and together, I think it just works for us. So, yeah. God, as if I'm crying. But yeah, no, he's amazing, and I think that, yeah, I think together we've just done amazing. So I'm grateful for him as well, and I appreciate him a lot. I love him lots, so.
You know what though, guys? What a perfect week. Is it what you guys expected when I invited you this week?
It's more.
Much more.
Why is it more? Why did you
For me, you really transparently share everything. And I don't know anyone that does that.
Showing like the good, the bad, the ugly. You've showed your failures and you're not afraid of that, which is absolutely inspirational.
The difference between making 10 million and 100 million, no one cares. That's just about ego. Oh, I'm worth 200 million, I'm worth 250 million. Who cares? What people actually care about is how many people did you impact? How have I made it easier for other people to be able to get by, to be able to have a better quality of life, have a more successful business because of what I've done.
I think he'd want to be remembered as just a great man who did great things and helped many, many people.
He's changed so many people's lives for the better so many times.
He's helped so many people get onto the property ladder and be financially free.
And he did whatever he could to make sure that I succeed.
I guess the question is, financially free. Free to do what? Free to build more? True happiness is found in progression. Did you know that my biggest development that I've ever done is not in the UK? The biggest thing I've ever built is the hospital in Uganda.
Helping people is a big part of why he also does what he does.
These charities that many of us are supporting, these people who have nothing, they're benefiting from what Samuel is teaching.
If you're like, well, actually Samuel has challenges, everyone has challenges, it kind of makes you deal with your setbacks better.
not just doing this for the money, he's doing it to help the ordinary person on the street.
I just really appreciate his passion to help people. He's certainly helped me and my family.
They're very supportive, absolutely amazing.
I could not have gotten through anything if I didn't have the Academy.
It's been a great journey. It changed my life.
I honestly wouldn't know what I'd do without the Academy now. I'm a lifer.
The community is invaluable and it is like a little family.
Samuel has completely changed our lives.
So legacy is not about how much money you've made. Legacy is about how many people you've impacted through your message, through your teachings, through your business, and leaving something in people, whether that's part of my story or... I think to me, that's what life is about.